Up the wires! Up the wires! Up the wires!
Here we go. Team List Tuesday. Well, that's what everyone else calls it. We just call it Teamsday because we like to abbreviate things. Welcome to Warriors Anonymous. My name is Jared Cronin. We've got the lads lined up tonight. We've got Daniel Wharakura, who's back. We've got Moneda Sauce, who's also back. And Spoony is also back from the bench. He's been recalled for another couple of hard runs after last night's effort. So, lads, welcome along. Obviously, the team has been named. And it's a fairly similar looking side to what we've seen recently. So we're going to have a quick run through the 1 to 17. And here we go. First guy on the list, of course. Guy in charge. Who's in the back? Number 1.
The 3 dots. In charge.
Here we go.
My days. I was going to say, can we call Spoony Okasini? Or the bench?
Paliasena.
Sorry. Paliasena.
Yeah. All right, Rocco, number 3. The POMP, jersey number 4. Both those boys played really well.
Heard about me. Hey, he's played every minute of every game this year.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right, Robert.
Legend. My fellow.
Here we go. Thanks, Moneta.
My fellow. Babyface.
For the halves, of course, Mighty Martin, a little bit of heat getting put on him. Not so much heat getting put on this guy, but the calf
solidarity. I'm with you, brother.
That's right. You are with him. That's exactly what this. That's what this slide is about.
Thunder calves.
Did you actually rip it or strain it?
Oh yeah, we're doing some stair challenge work stuff, and Wayne's busted up, eh?
Yes, Wayne Egan. Oh my God, they killed Kenny. Barney, number 10.
Barney Rubble.
It's all very similar to the team we played against the Knights. Jackson Ford there.
Jackson Ford.
Marata New Kore, got a new nickname from there. Steamroll.
I'm happy to see Marata.
Stu Harris,
apparently
captain.
He's injury free. He just used to putting tape on.
It's the style. Onto
Maybe
the
he's
bench.
still trying to get it off.
That's right. Curing Jay's hands after his effort helping out his bench mate last week. Bailey Sizzle. He got a bit of sizzle last week.
Yeah,
and also the strong hand.
I knew he'd be playing.
Got a bit of got to recover from.
He's going to have a sore hand.
That's right. He was. He would have been struggling to do a few things early in the week, I would imagine. But lads, what do we make? Keep it clean.
Gee.
He is cheap.
Straight to the bottom.
Straight to the gutter. You're a dear, fellas. I was talking about typing, but that's all good. This
Strong hand.
Yeah, that's right. The strong hand. What is saying nothing? So we're going to go to him first to straighten things up, bro. What are your thoughts on the 17 unchanged from the Knights, which was also unchanged? Well, unchanged from what was named against the Panthers as well. This is clearly our team.
This is our team. Yeah, love it. Another week of consistent naming as well. They'll be better for it too, because I think there was still some combinations to work out. And I say combination as in, and I'm super interested around the interchange plan this week, because I've got a gut feel it needs to be slightly different than what we had this week. So, but yeah, great team, best team we can name.
How so? How do you think it'll be? How will it differ?
Well, I just think about the period where Adam and Mitch came off, and they had a bit more possession, and for some reason we got into an arm wrestle. They probably were winning that battle, because obviously on the scoreboard they scored 10 points as well after our 16, so they were always going to get a chance to come back. But I think they were just, watching it live, they were just probably edging us a little bit more offloading as well. So we weren't wrapping up. Both teams were putting each other sort of, on their goal line, but they seem to be putting it a bit closer. So I just wonder if there's a way of mitigating the not having both Adam and Mitch on the field at the same time. So. Okay. Especially against the Broncos, because they've got a pretty strong bench as well, I think, so especially in middle forwards. So I'm just intrigued if perhaps, and I don't know, this might be a bit left field, but perhaps they start Jazz and they bring Mitch off the bench and play that kind of Bunty role where you just need to get the sting out of the game a little bit, but not. I just fear that maybe if we had the two middles off and that period, we could get dominated. So
Okay.
yeah, it might be a bit controversial, but it's got a little feeling about that. Just based
Bernie,
on
what
what
are
I
your
watched.
what's your reaction to that idea?
Yeah, it's interesting what Bud's mentioned. I think one thing, I don't know how many minutes AFB played on the weekend, but it felt like he was off for longer than he has been recently. Like he was doing some 70-plus minute stints earlier this year. And I think, I'm hoping that he was just eased off a little bit over the weekend because, as Bud said, it looked like there was a period of time where the Knights were really coming back and coming through the middle, and they were making 40-plus metres in their sets, and we were doing 30s. Just looked like they were really pressing us, but what I was impressed with was we're able to absorb it, and there wasn't the necessity to have to get, say, AFB back on the field. And I think it was good to just give him a little bit of fresh legs because this Saturday I think he's going to have to work hard, and I don't think he'll spend much time off the field. But I also think Barney's he's huge for us in terms of his D. He's a big body and he gets up there quick and he can really help slow things down, and I think he's going to play a big role and he may have to play some big minutes as well. So there might not be much time where both of them are, or hopefully no time where they're both off the field, because I think we can't afford that against the Broncos.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, just a quick one. Just a quick one before I jump there. Do you reckon that, like for example, AFB can play the first 40, and then Barney maybe play the first 25, and then in the second half, AFB has a spell at the start and Barney comes on? Because to your points, Bernie, I don't want to see both off at the same time. I guess with the size and in the middle and their ability, and I think both when fit can easily play a dynamic 60 minutes. Can also get through to 70 minutes if needed, but I think 70 minutes might just be a little bit too much because I'm just anticipating the how dynamic the Broncos forwards are. So I don't know. That's just something that kind of scares me if they don't have them. If they have them off at the same time.
Moneta, do you think it could be, or do you think last week's sort of use of the subs might have been determined by the really hot start that we got off to? I.e., if we didn't get off to that impressive a start, that they may have just varied a little bit and kept them around a bit.
Yeah, I think there was an element of just keeping the momentum in that regard. I think Jazz Devanga only had about 17 to 20 minutes in that regard, so I think it was more about keeping the flow and that keeping them on for the first, I think it was 25 to 30 minutes, Barnett and AFB. But yeah, I'd be keen to see how they utilise the interchange, especially against the Broncos, knowing that they've got Payne Haas leading up front and Carrigan and so forth. So I think maybe utilising Dylan Walker, Buns of Steel, and
Goods of Doom.
not Buns of Steel. That's someone else, isn't it?
That's your web browser history, bro.
No, that's
You're on fire today, bro.
That's hearingback.com. Where do I go here? Jazz. So you've got the Bald brothers. Hopefully, they provide that energy and drive up the middle, and having those two on, they seem to work off each other. So I think I'll be very interested to see how they use it, because yes, I do agree. It's going to have to be slightly different against the Broncos because their forward pack is menacing.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I think on Saturday.
I was just going to say, I reckon our bench has a massive role to play this weekend. It's significant for them to come on and have an impact, and I feel like just recently there have been games where, say, the Ball brothers just haven't quite been at the peak that they have been throughout the year. But what I know that they've got it in them, and I look forward to seeing that. But one thing I've been really impressed with is how both Curran and Bailey have developed as bench players over the year. Like, we know that Walker and Jazz have it in them, and with the way that Bailey, like, there were a few tackles that were made on the weekend that I was like, ooh, mean. And then it was Bailey that got up, and I was like, damn, buds, maybe he's like got his little crystal ball he's been gazing into. But yeah, I've been really impressed. But I think they could make a huge difference to how this game unfolds, because when they come on, it's going to be super important that they dominate.
It could be, Bailey could be quite critical, depending on, how much Wayne Egan gets knocked around. But looking at the forward pack, right? Do you see any guys listed in the starting lineup there who do you think will go the 80 minutes if things go to plan?
There's always one, and it's always Miss Jackson Ford. And what I love about Jackson Ford, and you actually had some people around saying, the new age where forwards rumble the tackles, the kick on defence, kick goes down, and then the forward pack just kind of waits to get caught up as well. Jackson Ford kind of is always at least potentially an option tackle 2, tackle 3. He gets back. He's just got a massive engine. So he's always guaranteed 80 unless he gets injured, right? And then I think outside of that, we've got enough minutes across the board. And I guess we're fortunate that we don't have to play that style of our middles. Our 2 starting middles can only play two stints of 20. That's a kind of a classic across the league. I mean, not all, but even like Fisher Harris and Leota, they just have two big stints, right? Well, 2 stints of 20 odd. We're just fortunate enough to get big minutes out of our key middles, but it does mean that we've got a lot of good starting players and a lot of good bench forwards, but you can't give all the bench forwards the steep minutes. And I think I'm looking at here, Curran played 39, and the reason why, right, is obviously Marata went down earlier than expected as well. So really, they only pay 20 to 30 minutes max, these bench forwards. So, yeah, I think they just bring, as Bernie was saying, that they're in for a short time, but it's like how the All Blacks used to have a role on the bench, right? Before, when rugby was actually fun to watch, you could you had specialist bench players that had a specialist role, short, sharp, as well. And I just really see our forwards doing that. And look, I think what I was just going to say before is on the weekend, you could see AFB was kind of floating around. He was kind of like playing euchre and leaving your trump card to the very end play as well. And we just fed our kind of mid trumps as well. And I think like the Baileys and the Currans did so well that in the game, Webby was like, actually, they're going really well. We've kind of stemmed the tide. We've got our big guys to come back at the end. Actually, these guys are doing the job. We've got the game. 20 minutes to go, really. We've got the arm wrestle. Let's play that out as well. So,
and that's good for them to be out there too, eh? They need that game time, because if they are needing to step up for an injury or for any reason, it's good that they've been out there and been in the middle. More time that they get, and I think it was a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see us really apply the blowtorch to Reece Walsh. I want to see us put bombs on him all day long, and I want to see us try and get our edge forwards and gaps to try and get one-on-ones with him, because it could be those could be situations that could really work well for us. Moneta, if you're picking one guy off the bench who will really shine, who are you picking?
Off our bench? Shit, it is a bit of a hard one. But I actually would go for Curran. I think he's about due like a big game. He's been playing consistently well, I think, off the bench, but I think he'll kind of rise to the occasion. Saying that his strong hand's a bit sore, but that's who I'm picking, Curran. But I say it's a hard one because I think everyone's going to have a good game. Barry Saranen, Dylan Walker, and Jazz Tavanga. I think everyone's going to step up. This is the occasion. and I think everyone's going to rise to it.
Yeah.
You think
Ball
Karen
brothers.
might have a bit more testosterone in his body?
I think he's got a. I think in his past interviews, he feels like you know, he's mentioned that he's just hasn't felt like he's had the season that he's thought he's had. He should be having, and so I think he'll kind of use that as kind of a drive to kind of want to really solidify his position within the team. So he's doing great, though. I think he's doing great.
For sure.
I reckon the same
Well,
might
there's going to be some great
Jazz too.
matchups. Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I just think
He's
he
definitely
hasn't
due.
quite. Yeah, I think he's due, and I think that after the match he was interviewed, he just seemed a bit quiet. He just didn't look like he was humming. So I think he might have something to prove this weekend.
I like that.
Yeah,
Unleash
I was
him.
thinking that too.
Unleash him.
Just from a defensive energy perspective, line speed, especially if they do keep the interchange as it is, and he does come in that sort of 25-minute mark. We're going to need that lift of intensity as well, and we're going to have to meet them, right? Because we got to bash them. And he's the junkyard dog, bro. He's just got to go at them, eh?
That's it. I like it. I like it a lot. We're going to be having a look over the individual matchups as we go throughout the week, as well as a few other things. Got the expense account coming up on Thursday, which is going to be exciting. So yeah, we'll also be back tomorrow with Te Wānanga to check on what's the word around the place, see what everyone's saying about the Warriors. Quite a bit of media coverage over in Australia about the Warriors, which is a little bit weird and unsettling.
Your
but
song played on NRL 360.
that's right. Yeah, even the song got on there. Goodness gracious, what is going on here? Anyways, my name is Jared Cronin.
They're running out
This
of
has been
teams.
Warriors Anonymous, the Teamsday. We're back. On behalf of Moneta Sauce, Spoonie, thank you for joining us, and Daniel Wharakura. We'll catch you guys tomorrow night, and go the Warriors.
Up the wire.
Ups the bars.